Colleagues, history is not written in 1 year or one budget. This is my 6th and last budget as your leader. And I want to thank all of you, especially Senator Leno, Senator Nielsen, the subcommittee chairs, all members of the Budget Committee for the painstaking number of hours that you have spent in constructing the timely 2014-15 budget. I say this is my 6th and last budget as your leader because I reflect on those 6 years. During that period of time, I've had the privilege of negotiating with 2 governors, 3 speakers, 4 Senate Republican leaders, and 4 Assembly Republican leaders. I am the last leader standing from the bleak winter of 2009. And while we rightfully debate the gains in this year's budget and whether they are enough, and let me say they are not, Senator Mitchell and others, I want to take a moment to reflect on where we were and where we have come. And my views, I suppose, represent a parallel universe from some of the views I've heard from members of the minority party over the last several minutes. When I started in 2009, California faced a catastrophic $42 billion deficit. We were literally on the verge of bankruptcy. We were on the precipice of a collapsing bond market. There was little or no confidence in state government. I remember our approval rating shrinking to, I think, about 9 or 10%. Where are we today? We are now on the verge of a 4th on-time budget in a row. We are now financially healthy and solvent. We have a plan to pay down debt, a real plan to stabilize our pension systems, and the beginning, and I emphasize beginning, of a reinvestment strategy that is at once too slow and yet still many steps in the right direction. And our approval rating this year is the highest it has been in 10 years. And what have we done along the way? Universal health care, a $10 billion or so increase in K-14 education funds, and more money for low-income children. The beginnings of a real reinvestment in child care and a standing commitment to fund full-day preschool for all low-income 4-year-olds. Beginning to shift that huge freighter known as the criminal justice system from just more jail beds to an emphasis on making realignment work and real money for recidivism reduction. Historic investments in mental health, career pathways, early start, and restoration of dental care for 800,000 low-income Californians. Near restoration of the recession-driven CalWORKs and CalGrant cuts. Historic investments in billions for clean infrastructure, depending on tonight's vote, and not just, we'll talk about this in a few moments, not just for high-speed rail. All on top of the policy advances for immigrants, for distressed homeowners, the elimination of an inefficient tax break, the enterprise zone tax credit, and the creation of high-wage tax incentive. Now let me stipulate, California needs more. UC, the CSU, the courts, all got increases this year as a result of our actions and the governor's budget, but not nearly enough. Medi-Cal rates, I think, are at or near the top of all of our list. We must never forget the 6 million Californians still living below the poverty line. I am confident that Senator De Leon and the next Senate will pick up right where we leave off. I would argue that in a system where compromise and negotiations are the essential elements of our constitutional democracy, we ought to apply two tests here tonight. First, does this budget represent a world of difference from what we faced together as little as 3 years ago? Yes, it does. It is night versus day. It is a hailstorm versus bright sunshine. It is constant dread versus real hope for the future. The second test ought to be this. As we fight for more restoration and reinvestment, can we look back over not just 1 year, but 3 years, 4 years, and say, we made significant and real advances in every major area of investment necessary for our people and for our economy. We are not there yet, but we are well on our way, and it is dramatically different and better than it was just several years ago. I see Speaker Atkins on the floor, and I want to thank her. I want to thank the governor. I want to thank the Assembly. I want to thank Speaker Emeritus Perez. And all of you, my Senate colleagues, for hanging in there during the toughest of the tough times. And here we are, the second year of a real recovery. I leave with my head high, but knowing that all of you will carry on the work until those reinvestments are where they should and must be. I urge a strong aye vote for the 2014-15 budget. Thank you.